Hi. I've been muted this whole time. I've literally been talking this whole time and I've been muted, and I kept seeing people laughing and I'm like, why are they laughing? And then I realized, oh my God, I'm talking with no camera on and I'm muted. What am I doing? Okay. Hi. Apparently I've lost my marbles. Did anybody hear anything? Was I muted that whole time? Okay, so I'm just going to start over then. Thanks for staying on for these like 5 minutes of me just my mouth moving and nothing happening. Okay, our training is about going fast start executive. And really, my goal of what you guys are going to take out of this is going to be helpful for you, right? It doesn't matter where you're at right now. If you're pro, you're builder, you're executive already, if you're in your fast start time clock or you're not, everything that we're going to talk about is going to be helpful. Like even people who are bronze and above, it's all helpful tips. But we are coming up on the hugest week that we're going to see in fall, right? If you have been living under a rock, you might not know, but we have a really big event happening this next week in Dallas. It is our fall convention, and it is going to bring so many new people into our businesses. Okay. And so I really want us to be prepared not only for tasks that we maybe personally could improve on, right? There's always room for improvement, but also being prepared to help as many people as possible that come into Q during this big wave. Okay, because that's what's going to happen, especially if you guys on this call tonight have been working your business throughout August and you've been doing your daily IPAs and you've been on those trainings where we're picking up all these tips and tricks, right? You've been talking to people, right? If you haven't been sleepy over the summer, you've been talking to people. And I promise you, this wave is going to bring new people in. And those new people, if we help them correctly, are going to be the people that make our businesses hit new promotions in October and November and December. And those new people are going to blow our Q Sciences team up in 2022. So we want to make sure we're prepared to serve them well. Okay, so first, I'm going to start off with what the heck even is Fast Start Executive. I think everybody on this call probably knows, but just to err on the side of caution for anyone who's fresh, Fast Start Executive is the first 3 promotions, builder, pro, and executive, within our compensation plan. And specifically, it is achieving those within your first full month. Okay. Builder, if you're just going off like a cheater hack, is about 3 orders. Pro is about 6 orders. And then executive is about 15 orders. Now that can vary. That's not exact. It really depends on how you're growing your business, but that's a nice little cheater code. You do need to have 2 personally sponsored ambassadors in there. But specifically, you need to do this in your first full month. Now, that's not your first 30 days exactly, because if you're someone who signed up tonight, right, you're a new ambassador, you get signed up tonight, you actually have the rest of August and then the full month of September to achieve these first 3 bonuses. So in reality, people who are within their executive time clock, they are usually having about 30 to 60 days to achieve this. The biggest thing to make sure that people are aware of is these are time-sensitive bonuses, okay? If someone hits executive outside of their time clock, they're still going to achieve that new rank. They're still going to achieve that new monthly team commission, but they would not get the fast start bonus that goes along with that. So just making sure that people understand that those first 3 bonuses are time sensitive. Now, that kind of leads us in immediately to what I want to talk about first. So I just need these bullet points of what does it take to go fast start executive, okay? First thing is that it takes immediate action when people are signing up. This is one of the biggest reasons that we vet very seriously here, you guys. We're not just trying to sign anybody up. We're not just trying to sign up the people who are treating this as a hobby. They're going to dilly-dally their way through these promotions, because their first 3 promotions are time sensitive. It means they need to come in hot and heavy, ready to take that immediate action so that they're not wasting a single second of this time, right? Executives, very achievable, but it's not achievable if we're not really seizing the day and starting the second that we sign up. So still recovering from COVID. Sometimes I just can't breathe. So if you're talking to someone and they're like, I really want to use the products first, they're a customer, you guys, and they're not a customer from a selfish perspective. It has nothing to do with your business. It has everything to do with their business. They need to sign up when they're ready to start working, because if they sign up and they want to take their whole first month to try products out, they're going to run out of this time clock and they're going to lose that opportunity at those fast start bonuses. People need to be ready to take immediate action. Everybody has different vetting graphics, so I'm not sure what yours say specifically, but typically it should have somewhere on there that they are ready to be launched in their business within 24 to 48 hours. And that is very, very important. Okay. If someone's like, oh yeah, I really want to sign up, but I'm going to Disneyland next week, we're going to sign up when your girl gets back from Disneyland, okay? Because we want them to have that full executive time clock so that they are really taking advantage of every second to hit those bonuses. Because how crappy would it be if they sign up, they spend a whole 10 days being on vacation to Disneyland, and then when they come back, they end up being 1 or 2 orders away from executive. And they're like, dang it, if I would have just had a couple more days, right? And you're like, you would have had a couple more days if we just waited till you were back from your vacation, right? So just making sure people are ready to go ASAP when they get signed up. Some people have different tactics for this. Sometimes people will say that they're scheduling them for their launch call and their Fab 5 before they're even signed up. For me, it more so looks like just really heavy hand holding of walking people through step by step by step, and being the person that's like, okay, I have this opening and this opening tomorrow. Which one can you make? Okay. But you want to make sure that you're getting people going right off the bat. We don't have time to waste with these fast start bonuses. The second thing is just time in general. Having realistic expectations for these fast start bonuses is really, really important, especially when we work in a business that everybody gets to make their own. Okay. You have people who are working this business over full time, and you have people who are working this business 5 to 7 hours a week, right? Now, both of them are going to be able to make a profit, but it's going to look very different, right? Casey, who is pretty much everyone's upline on this call, she hit oh my gosh, she hit platinum in like 90 days, but she literally worked like 20 hours a day for 90 days straight, right? Platinum in 90 days isn't possible for most people. Platinum in 6 months isn't possible for most people, but she was working so much, right? So it was more attainable for her. The biggest thing that I like to just be blunt about is if you're coming into this business to work it 5 to 7 hours a week, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's amazing, but just have realistic expectations for what you're going to achieve so that you don't set out to hit Fast Start Executive, but then only have 30 or 45 minutes a day to work. And then you're really disappointed when that doesn't feel attainable at the end of that first month. Coming in hot and heavy, right? Making sure that you're really putting in enough time to get out that expectation of what you want. I do feel like the people who come into this business and hit Fast Start Executive, they're typically people who are working more than 5 to 7 hours per week. Now, that's not to say it can't be done in 5 to 7 hours a week. It's just to say that in my experience so far, watching multiple people hit Fast Start Executive, they are the people who are working this closer to a full part-time schedule, right? They're putting in 15 to 20 hours a week. And a lot of times that's because you're starting from ground zero, like you're coming in with nothing most of the time. So sometimes that getting the ball even rolling is the hardest part. So just have a realistic expectation. Know that at the end of the day, if you are someone who's coming in to work this 5 to 7 hours a week, it's not going to be the end of the world if you don't hit those fast start bonuses, right? 2 years from now, when you've grown to bronze or silver and you're making $1,700 to $4,000 a month, are you going to be like, dang it, I didn't get that $500? Probably not. So just know it's okay if you're working a smaller amount of time. Just always make sure you're keeping your expectations realistic for what you're pouring into this, and you have that long-term vision. Now, number 3 is a high output of messages. Okay. This is something that I've ran into a handful of times in this industry, is people coming in, they're sending just a couple of messages, and then they're kind of wondering why they're not seeing the income. And at the end of the day, if you only message a few people one time, this is not going to work. It's a numbers game. Okay. We want to make sure that we're sending quality messages, but quantity is important in network marketing. It's not more important. You need to be sending good messages to people, but you have to remember that the more people you reach out to, the more chances you have of getting a yes. We work in an industry where hearing no is normal, like extra normal. Like most of the people you talk to are probably going to tell you no. Okay. We got to learn how to overcome that one quick, because we're going to have to hear no a lot to get to the yeses. And that's okay, because that's part of this industry, right? At the end of the day, we're in a really cool form of sales, but it's still sales, and no is really, really common. I've kind of told myself, like, no just stands for next opportunity. So every time I'm hearing a no, I'm like, all right, reaching out to another one, sending another message, putting out that content and messaging someone who liked my post again, finding someone new on Instagram to reach out to. The number of messages that you send is very important. Don't go crazy. Don't overdo the quantity and sacrifice the quality, right? Copy and pasted, hey girl messages, 200 of them is not better than 20 solid good ones. What I'm more so addressing is, if you're sending one message a day and you want to have a really large income in this industry, it's just not enough. Right? It's just not enough, especially in the beginning. So what I typically tell myself is, and this is something I've said forever, it's not exact. Everybody has different systems, right? So like if I'm telling you this and then your mentor is like, I don't do it that way, don't be like, Mandy said I have to, because that's not the case at all. This is just my little cheater hack. Typically, the amount of people that I want to add in a month, I double that number and I send that many messages a day. So if I know I want to enroll 3 new ambassadors this month, I'm going to double that. That makes 6. And I'm going to send 6 new messages a day. Now, why? Mostly because it's just a lot of numbers, right? If I'm doubling that number and I'm sending it daily, I'm giving myself higher odds that someone along those lines is going to say, yes, I'm going to get 3 of them in the dozens of messages that I'm sending out that month. Okay. In the beginning, in my first 30 days, my executive time clock period, you guys, I sent messages all day long. That's what I did. I came in hot and heavy. I literally paced around my house doing chores as I was sending voice memos saying, hey, I'm not sure if you've seen my new post on Facebook. Hey, I wanted to reach out to you because hey, like that's what I did all day long. So remember that sometimes the people that you're seeing come in and go builder, pro, executive, elite, they're spending a majority of their time sending those messages because they came in hot and heavy. Right? It's not like you can't do it if you don't do it that way. Just remember odds. Your odds are higher when you're able to send more messages. Quality, quality, quality. I can't stress it enough. I don't want anyone to hear what I'm saying and mistake me for saying that you need to just send more bad messages or copy and pasted messages or cold, hey girl messages. That's not what I'm saying. Try to squeeze in a couple extra good ones each day. If right now you're sending 1 reach out a day, try to send 3 each day. If right now you're sending 5 messages a day, try to send 7 or 10 messages a day. It's not like 50 messages or nothing, just the more the merrier is very much true in network marketing. And to remember that you're going to stay in this phase forever in this industry. Okay. At no point in network marketing are you going to get to a point where you should not send messages anymore. Francesca Fields and Brittany Hitch are still doing messages every day. I guarantee if you ask them, they're at least talking to a few new people each day because they got to where they're at in this business, and they will continue to grow to even higher ranks in this business because they've learned how to stay in phase 1 recruitment. Okay. Your first executive time clock period, those first 30 to 60 days, that phase 1 recruitment is absolutely crucial. If you don't have that, you're never even going to get to executive. You have to be sending the messages. You have to be enrolling the people. You have to have your daily IPA be some of the most important time of your whole day because it's getting that plane up off the ground. Some of you guys might have heard me say this before. I believe it was Eric Worre who talked about, maybe it wasn't, it doesn't matter. I listened to someone give a speech talking about their plane getting off the ground. And they gave this analogy and it seared in my brain because when I heard him say it, I was like, oh my gosh, I've never heard something so accurate. He talked about planes, pilots, right? You get on a plane to go fly to Dallas next week for convention. And what does that plane do to get off the ground? They go full throttle. Full throttle. Because if they don't go full throttle, if they're only giving 50% of that gas, they're probably not going to get those wheels up off the ground. They're going to go real fast on the tarmac, but they're not going to be flying. In order to get the plane off the ground, they have to go full throttle for a short amount of time. And once the plane is in the air, they're able to kind of nail back a little bit, right? Hold it back a little bit, bring the throttle down and kind of stay in cruise mode. They're not stopping flying or they would nosedive back into the ground, but they're able to take some of that speed off and just learn how to stay right here. And then eventually they'll come down, they'll take a break, and then they'll take that next flight full throttle off the ground and into the air again. That is your business, you guys. To get the plane off the ground in this type of industry, you have to go full throttle for a short amount of time. It's why oftentimes in this industry, you'll hear leaders talk about doing 60, 90-day pushes, right? Jake Spencer talks about doing a 45-day push leading up to an event and a 45-day push after an event, totaling 90 days. It's important because if you don't have those full throttle moments, you're never going to get to a point in your business where you can take the pedal off the metal a little bit and go into cruise control while you sort of, take a deep breath and get ready for the next big push. That is this industry. So know that for yourself and know that for your new people coming in, that those first 30 to 60 days in their executive time clock, that's full throttle time, pedal to the metal time, working a little bit harder than maybe they have long-term available, right? I worked harder in the first 60 to 90 days in this business than I even thought I could. Right? I came in hot and heavy, but I knew I had to do it if I wanted to get the plane off the ground. Okay. So just make sure you're prepared for those full throttle moments. And then even after you've hit executive, you're prepared to do them repeatedly throughout your business. Not all the time, but for short stints of time, we're going full throttle. Okay. And if you haven't picked up on what I'm putting down right now is a full throttle time. Okay. I forgot what number I'm on, but going on to the next one, staying organized. Super important for going fast start executive, right? We are going full throttle. We are sending lots of messages. We are maybe putting in more time than we will be in the future in those first 30 to 60 days, which means there are a lot of things that could slip through the cracks. Okay. When I came into this business and I was voice memoing all day long, if I wouldn't have figured out a way to stay organized, I would have forgotten half the people I needed to follow up with. Okay. Figure out a system. Everybody's system is going to look different. I'm just going to tell you about mine and you're going to figure out what's going to work best for you. For me, I use lists in my phone and I flag messages on Instagram. Like 90 some odd % of my business is on Instagram. If you do it on Facebook, I don't even know if you can flag messages there. I'm not sure. But on Instagram with a business account, you can flag messages. And so this is what my system looks like. If I reach out to someone, I put their name into the note section of my phone so that I know to follow up. And if they respond to me and they even say, yes, sure, what is it? They heart it, they thumbs up my message, whatever, any kind of response, I flag the message on my Instagram. because when I'm flagging those messages, it gives me the availability to go on Instagram. In my inbox, I can click to all of my flagged messages, and I can start at the bottom of the list and go follow up, 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 all the way to the top. And if I have that list of people in my phone, it gives me the availability to say, okay, I have 25 minutes right now to sit down. I'm going to follow up with as many of these people as I can, without people slipping through the cracks and me being like, shoot, I forgot that I sent Sarah a voice memo. Now it's been 3 weeks. It's awkward being like, hey, did you get that voice memo I sent you 3 weeks ago, right? You don't want to be put in that position. You want to be able to follow up with people 24 to 48 hours later. Okay. So whatever your system is going to look like, stay organized. If you're in your first 30 to 60 days and you're bringing on people who are also wanting to actively work the business, stay organized with those people. You are learning, but you're also in leadership mode very early in your business, which means you are leading. You're learning and you're leading at the same time. Again, that's a lot of open tabs on the internet page. We need to figure out how to stay organized. I love Telegram because they have folders. You can actually put folders into your Telegram and organize who goes into which folder. Now, ask me how to show you how to do this. I would need a whole nother training call because I'm not tech savvy, but I guarantee there's someone within your upline who could show you or tell you very easily how to do this. It saves my stinking life every day to be able to organize my messages by priority. Okay. Anybody that you personally enroll, you should be helping them with their business. So just make sure that they're not someone who's falling in a crack. Lots of messages, lots of follow-ups. You're going to figure out a system that works best for you. For me, what it was looking like was I would send a lot of messages on Monday, and then I'd do a lot of follow-ups on Tuesday. And then I'd send a lot of messages on Wednesday, and then I'd do a lot of follow-ups on Thursday. And same thing over and over and over again. And I was kind of organizing my day that way so that most people were staying on the same schedule of when I needed to follow up with them. Now, again, this is my full-time job. So if you're working this a smaller amount of time each day, it might be smarter for you to split in half. Like 1 hour you're sending reach outs, the other hour you're doing follow-ups, and you're using your lists to stay organized. Remember that this business, that there is no one size fits all. You're going to have to figure out what grooves the best with what you have, your availability, your way that you're working this business, but just find something to keep you organized. Lastly, follow the systems and utilize your upline. Okay, so the systems that we have here, Casey has used them, I've used them, Brittany Hitch, Francesca Fields, and Marielle have used most of them. They work. The systems really, really work. So make sure that you're following the systems. If for whatever reason you have an upline who maybe didn't show you the systems or they're not super involved in mentoring you, please make sure that you're reaching out to the next person in your upline. I can promise you that you have someone in your upline who's fully prepared, willing, and able to mentor you wonderfully. So if you don't know who that is, you can go into your back office and just ask the person who sponsored you, hey, who's our next upline? I think most of you guys are under Casey. So if you need help figuring that out, she has someone in town right now, but you're free to message me. I can help you figure out who would be a good mentor for you. Involve your mentor. Likely they've been doing this longer than you have, and nobody is too good for help. We all need help, especially in an industry like this, where it is consistently keeping all the plates spinning. That's what we're doing, right? The more help, the merrier. Utilize your upline. Use the screenshot method. Use our events page on Q Mafia. Be on the trainings. Whatever you can get yourself involved in to have that mentorship, I cannot recommend that highly enough. And as a leader of someone who's in their fast start time clock, make sure that you are being your accountability for this. Okay. So if you are someone's mentor, you are reminding them of the trainings, you're reminding them of the systems, you're making yourself available to help them with their messages, you're getting them added into the groups that they need to be in, right? It's all teamwork. Network marketing is the most teamwork revolved industry I've ever seen. That is the secret sauce, is figuring out how to work in teamwork by utilizing your mentor and then mentoring the people that you're enrolling into this business. I hope that was helpful. I'm sorry I talked to you for 5 minutes on mute without my face on the screen. I'm not really sure what happened there. But just another day in my life. And I recorded this, so I will upload it into the Q Mafia page later. Do not sleep on this next week, you guys. Do not sleep. Now is the time to go into full throttle. If you haven't been there yet, remind yourself it's a short amount of time. We're not doing this forever. This is not a forever thing. This is a ramp up for convention next week. Get so excited if you're going and can't wait to meet you all and work your little heinies off, because you are going to be so glad you did when we're like sitting in October, 3 more ranks deep, like, okay, who's ready to go platinum, right? I'm so excited. Thank you for being here tonight. And I will put this in the Q Mafia recordings. Bye, guys.